The land of fire and ice, home to some of the largest glaciers and most active volcanoes, Iceland is a country of extreme contrast. It is also the land of light and darkness. Experience the long summer days with nearly 24-hour sunshine and short winter days with only few hours of gloomy daylight. Winters are perfect time to enjoy the magical northern light called Aurora Borealis. Iceland is a Nordic country in North Atlantic Ocean. It is the most sparsely populated country in Europe. Capital and the largest city is Reykjavik, which is where 2/3 of the Iceland population lives. It is known as one of the youngest landmass on the planet. It's only 60 million years old, and it is also one of the last places on Earth to be settled by humans. Did I get you excited about learning about this country? Let's start with the flag, the most important symbol of any country. The Iceland flag is a simple blue flag with a white and red Nordic cross, like other Nordic countries' flags. The colors didn't have any meaning when it was designed, but the current interpretation is that it represents the three elements that created the island: fire, ice, and water. Iceland coat of arms is a silver cross in a sky blue field with a bright red cross inside the silver cross, alluding to the flag. The supporters are the four guardian spirits of the island: the bull, the giant, the eagle, and the dragon, as described in a well-known Norse saga. They are protectors of the four corners of the island. It is the only national arm that features four supporters. Most of them has only two. The shield rests on a plate of columnar basalt, a common rock found in Iceland. Geography. Iceland borders the Atlantic Ocean and the Arctic Ocean. It is the second largest island in Europe after Great Britain and the 18th largest in the world. It covers the area of about 103,000 square kilometers, slightly bigger than Hungary or Portugal. The nearest neighbors are Greenland, Faroe Island, Denmark's territory, United Kingdom, and Norway. It is home to some of the world's most active volcanoes. Its central volcanic plateau erupts constantly. The island is biggest part of mid-Atlantic ridge, where Eurasian and American tectonic plate meet and rises above sea level. Much of the terrain consists of plateaus, mountain peaks, and fertile lowland. It is also home to many deep fjords and glaciers. Actually, the largest glacier in Europe is in here. The landscape is stunning, full of waterfalls, geysers, volcanoes, black sand beaches, and steaming lava fields. Climate is cold, windy, and cloudy most of the year, but is warmed by the Gulf Stream that flows in. The winter is not too cold. The average temperature in Reykjavik is around freezing point. The inland areas and the northern coast is slightly colder. Summer is cool. July and August are the warmest. The capital's temperature is around 9 degrees Celsius. History. Iceland history is well documented. A small number of Scottish or Irish monks lived in the island in the early 770. They are believed to be the first semi-permanent residents of the island. Viking explorers sailed around Iceland and determined it's an island in 870. The Norwegian Norse chieftain built his homestead in present-day Reykjavik in 874. Many other Scandinavians followed him with their Irish or Scottish females that they captured as a wife slave. Icelandic parliament called Althing was established in 930 to make laws and resolve disputes. It was believed to be the first parliament of its sort. By the turn of first millennia, Christianity was adapted, but the segment of the population still followed Norse paganism. By the 13th century, original political system created by the original settlers failed to cope with the increased power of Icelandic chieftains. In 1262, Iceland came under the control of Norwegian crown. Life was harsh in Iceland, with infertile soil, volcanic eruption, deforestation, and the unforgiving climate. On top of all that, plague hit the Iceland twice, first in 1402 and then again in 1494, killed half of the island population. In the 16th century, King Christian III of Denmark imposed Lutheranism. Iceland subsequently became an officially Lutheran nation. In the 17th and 18th centuries were trying time for many Icelanders. In 1602, Denmark started to monopolize all Icelandic trade. In 1627, pirates captured hundreds of Icelanders and sold them as slaves. Between 1707 and 1708, smallpox killed more than a quarter of the population. In 1783, Laki volcano erupted. Over half of the livestock in the island died because of all the volcanic plume. Quarter of the population starved to death due to famine. In 1814, following the Napoleonic War, Denmark-Norway was broken up into two separate kingdoms, but Iceland remained with Danish crown. Throughout the 19th century, the climate got colder and many Icelanders immigrated, mostly to Manitoba, Canada. An Icelandic independent movement took shape in 1850. By 1874, Denmark granted limited autonomy and power over internal affairs to Iceland. This was expanded in 1904 and Hannes Hafstein, I'm sure I'm saying the name wrong, Hannes Hafstein, served as the first minister for Iceland. Denmark and Iceland signed the 25-year Danish-Icelandic Act of Union on December 1st, 1918, in which Denmark recognized Iceland as an independent nation. Based on the agreement, Denmark was responsible for Iceland defense and foreign affairs. Danish embassies around the world displayed two coat of arms and two flags. During the World War II, Iceland tried to maintain neutrality. After German occupation of Denmark, Iceland government took control of its own defense and foreign affairs. A month later, British troops landed in Iceland to prevent German invasion. In 1941, Iceland became under the protection of United States of America, and the American troops took over the island security. In 1944, Iceland became a republic with Sigbjørn Bjørnson as its first president. In 1949, Iceland became one of the founding members of NATO. And as they say, the rest is history.
People and culture!
Iceland is home to about 375,000 people. Most of them has Nordic or Gaelic origin. One of the genetic studies indicated that most of the male settlers were Nordic while the women were Gaelic, meaning many settlers of Iceland were Norse men who brought Gaelic women. Poles were the largest minority group and make up bulk of the foreign workforce as well. Most of the Icelanders are Christians, 2/3 of them are Lutherans. Icelandic cultures are rooted in North Germanic traditions. Centuries of isolations have helped preserve the Nordic culture. One other great example is the Icelandic language. It descended from the Old Norse. It remains very similar to Norse compared to other Nordic languages. Icelanders are very conscious of the fact that their language is unique and try to develop new vocabulary based on the native roots rather than borrowing from other languages. However, English and Danish are compulsory in school. English is widely spoken and understood by many. Literatures are very popular. The sagas and Eddas written during the Middle Age are classic. Icelanders are avid readers. Icelanders don't usually use family name like most of the Westerners. They use mostly their father's, sometimes their mother's first name, and add son or daughter to it. For an example, if Robert Johnson and Jen Stephen daughter had a boy, his name would be Robertson. Robertson. If they had a daughter, it will be Robert's daughter. Robert with a daughter, Robert's daughter. Independence and self-sufficiency are extremely important to Icelanders. They are also hard-working and work long hours than any other industrialized nation. Icelanders are known for their strong sense of community as well.
Economy.
As a small country, Iceland's economy is also small and volatile due to global market pricing of export and exchange rate of the Icelandic krona. The GDP is about 27 billion and GDP per capita is 74,000. So pretty rich country. Tourism, aluminium smelting, fishing are the pillars of the economy. Over the last decade, manufacturing, tourism, software production, biotechnology have grown significantly. Electricity is clean and cheap and plenty due to geothermal and hydropower sources, and it attracts substantial foreign investment in aluminium smelting sector as well as high-tech firms looking to establish data centers as they consume lots of energy. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Better yet, learn something new. If you did and if you like this, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. Or better yet, let me know in the comment what you don't like about this video. I would love to hear from you. As we are a small channel, we would love to hear from you and improve what we could in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you are watching all the way here, I really appreciate you. Bye.